Hi, I'm Movie Man. I'm an octopus who reviews movies, and today's review is going to be on
For faith.
Now, I know about this movie alright, like, I'd seen, the trailers for it and stuff, and, it looks, like an interesting movie, like, I mean, as well as that, you've got, like, a good cast in there, and, as well as that, you've also got a good director in Edward Berger, of course, he also directed All Quiet on the Western Front, the new version that came out there on Netflix about 2 years ago now, which is actually a great movie if you haven't seen it. Well, here he is again with another movie, Conclave, a political thriller with as a good cast as I mentioned. I know this movie premiered at the Toronto Film Festival, I believe. It actually got genuinely a very good response. The reviews for this one were actually genuinely like really positive and stuff. Seeing that the movie has gotten a good reaction, and it looks like a genuinely interesting film, a good cast, a good director. The movie released there in Ireland last week, the 29th of November. So, as of me recording this video, it was last week when Conclave was released in Ireland. I know, like, in some other territories it got released like a month earlier, but here in Ireland we only just got it there now, as of last week. I went to see Conclave for myself, and having seen it for myself now, what did I think of it? I have to say, I really enjoyed this one. Like, Edward Berger has pretty much done it again. Like, he gave us a great movie there 2 years prior with All Quiet on the Western Front, and now here he is again giving us quite a different movie from that film, but another great one as well. I have to say, I really enjoyed this one. But getting kind of further into my thoughts on Conclave, well, first off, I can say the cinematography in this movie is actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like the way that this movie is actually shot. Like, there's genuinely, some really like nice shots, like throughout the whole film, and like the way kind of certain scenes are shot, and like kind of like certain like kind of close-ups of characters' faces and stuff. Honestly, I think it's actually pretty well done. And like even kind of some of the wide shots where like we actually see, the Vatican and stuff. Like, we have a few like overhead shots, like there's actually this one really nice shot that I remember from the movie. It's like there's an overhead shot and like we see all these characters walking like with umbrellas over their heads, and like there's just a whole bunch of people walking and stuff. Like we see all that happening from overhead. Yeah, I actually really liked that shot. I actually thought that was genuinely a really nice shot. But yeah, overall, I have to say, I do think there were a lot of nice shots in the movie. I thought it was a well shot film, so yeah, I have to say the cinematography in the movie was really good. I will say the editing in this movie was actually quite good as well. Like honestly, I did quite like the way that the movie was edited, like because it's kind of a movie where like we see kind of a lot of things happening where it's kind of going back and forth, with a lot of these characters, and we're seeing it from like a lot of these different perspectives and stuff. Yeah, I have to say I thought that was honestly really well handled. Yeah, so I think overall it was a well edited movie. I actually did genuinely, quite like the way that they kind of edit, all these scenes, like all these conflicts and stuff, and how it cuts between everything. Yeah, honestly, it was nicely done. Yeah, overall, I will say the editing in this movie was pretty good as well. Now, in terms of the film's pace, now the movie's kind of long enough. Like this movie is exactly 2 hours long. So yeah, it's a 2 hour long political thriller. Honestly, I actually think the movie is very well paced. Like, I mean, like with the movie being 2 hours long, like I think it actually does well with that runtime where it kind of it gets through the movie, and with like the plot and everything, kind of how everything is happening and stuff. The movie's kind of it's really building up and building up and building up. I will say, like, this isn't exactly the kind of movie that, is gonna kind of slow down all too much, because, like, throughout the film, we're kind of, we're building up and building up, towards, like, who will actually be selected as the new Pope, and throughout the movie, we're hearing about all these different conflicts, and, like, everything about like all of these different characters and stuff, and I think it's honestly really well handled and stuff, and like I actually really liked how it was done and stuff. Yeah, so overall I have to say I thought the pace in this movie was actually really good, like with how it all builds up towards everything, and like how it was able to utilize the 2 hour runtime. I thought that was honestly really well done. Now in terms of the sound and music in this movie, like we have a fair few kind of sound effects in the film, like kind of like with all these kind of different sounds and like There are a few scenes like we kind of just hear like the characters talking and stuff, and like not really all that much music. I think all that is actually pretty well handled, and like it honestly makes like a well sounded movie. But in terms of the film's music, like I have to say, the score in this movie is actually genuinely quite good. Like it's kind of all like this like violin track and stuff, and like it's plays during like a lot of these scenes. I'm not gonna lie, I actually genuinely really liked it. Like as well as just being a really nice score, I actually really liked that it was actually quite intense, and like it kind of plays into like the intensity of everything happening in the film. I honestly thought they did very well with that. Yeah, I'll say fair play to the film's composer because they did a very good job with it, honestly. But yeah, overall, I have to say the sound and music in this film was genuinely really good. Now, in terms of the characters and the performances from the cast, so starting things off, we have our main protagonist in this movie, Cardinal Thomas Lawrence. I will say I actually did genuinely like him as a character, as a protagonist. I honestly really liked his whole character and like what he goes through throughout the film, because like basically he's the one who's been assigned to kind of oversee the conclave and everything, and like even though he is one of the nominees to be the new pope, he's not really what he wants, but yeah, he's going all throughout the film, and like he's kind of making all these discoveries and stuff, and like he's honestly a very, engaging character with everything that he goes through throughout the movie and all the kind of decisions that he's having to make and stuff. Yeah, I liked his character. I will say Ralph Fiennes, this shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but yeah, he is really, really good in this movie. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he honestly did a great job in this film, because like all throughout the movie, like he does really well like playing this character. Like I think the way he's able to display like the emotions of his character, and the tensity that he's having to feel from it all and stuff, yeah, honestly I thought the way that he plays this part was done really well. I thought he honestly did a great job leading the movie and stuff. Yeah, overall I have to say I really liked Cardinal Lawrence's character, and yeah, he did very well in this role. Ralph Fiennes. Now we have like a bunch of these kind of other cardinals who the movie focuses on. We also have Cardinal Bellini. I liked his character as well, because he's kind of similar to Lawrence, and how like he doesn't really want to be the new pope either, but yeah, the way he kind of gets involved in everything, and all like the scenes with his character, I honestly found him to be quite endearing. And yeah, I will say Stanley Tucci, he does a great job in his role as well. I think he does a great job playing Bellini. He helps really make him a very memorable character, yeah. Honestly, I really liked, his character, and like, we have like a bunch of these other cardinals and stuff, who the movie is focusing on. These are kind of, the ones who are like, really, interested in becoming the new pope, and are kind of, the ones that are like the high voltage ones and stuff, and like, the movie like really focuses on like each of their characters, because like throughout the movie we find out some things about, a lot of these characters and stuff, and like, it's quite interesting, when we get all these revelations and stuff about like all these characters and everything and stuff. Yeah, honestly, I have to say, I do think a lot of these other characters are really good, and like, I think that acting is really good in this movie. Like, I already mentioned, Ralph Fiennes and Stanley Tucci, but like, I think a lot of these like other actors playing a lot of these other characters do really well in their roles. They're actually very believable. Like, we have John Lithgow in this movie, definitely like the most like famous one out of all these other characters. So I know, like, alongside Ralph Fiennes and Stanley Tucci, yeah, kind of the main ones who are gonna recognize that. But John Lithgow was in here as a cardinal known as Tremblay, and I will say I thought he actually did really well in his role, and like how he kind of played his character and stuff. Yeah, he was very good in this. And like, I also, there's another cardinal character in this, and like, he's from Afghanistan. Yeah, like, he was definitely a very memorable character. Like, oh boy, what they did with his character was actually really interesting. But I did like his character. I thought his actor, his name is August Diehz, well in his role. Yeah, I thought all these other kind of cardinal actors did well. Although there's an actress in this movie, who I want to mention, that being Isabella Rossellini. Yeah, she has a role in this as Sister Agnes, and like, she's this nun who ends up getting involved and kind of does, play a bit of a role in here. Yeah, I actually liked her character. Yeah, I will say Isabella Rossellini actually did very well for what she was given. I think she really did a great job, making this character memorable and believable and stuff. Yeah, overall, I have to say, I thought the characters in this movie were actually really good. And I think, all the acting in this movie was very good as well. I mean, Ralph Fiennes is a brilliant lead, but I think a lot of other actors do well, working off of him and bringing something to all their roles. So overall, I have to say, very good characters and acting all around. Now, in terms of the plot of this movie, now, the basic premise of this movie is, the Pope passes away, and so, there's a conclave, and that's set, to elect a new Pope. And like, now, like, on paper, you might not think like that would be all too interesting of a setup for a film, but I will say this movie does make it genuinely interesting. Like, honestly, I have to say, like, I think the movie does really well with this plot, because, like, it's basically Ralph Fiennes' character, Cardinal Lawrence, he's kind of the one overseeing the conclave, like, and like he's kind of finding out, you know, kind of stuff about like some of these other nominees, and like there's a bit of conflicts happening throughout the movie. I will say, as a political thriller, it is honestly like really engaging. Like throughout the movie, there's like a bunch of like different twists and turns that they take in the film, and yeah, honestly, yeah, I have to say, Edward Berger and the screenwriter Gary Strauss, I think is his name, did well with this movie. Like honestly, very well. Like they actually made like a genuinely really engaging film, and like as I said, you know, it was like a fun political thriller. Like I love the way it kind of, you know, delves into like all these different things happening and stuff. Like genuinely some very kind of interesting twists and turns that it takes throughout. But like yeah, like it honestly can be like genuinely a bit of an intense film with what can happen in it at times, but even then, like there's actually some kind of brief moments of humor in it that like actually work pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, I actually did chuckle like a few times during the film with kind of some of the little bits of humor that it has in there. Yeah, I have to say, overall, I think they did well, like, with the plot of this movie. Now, like, it can definitely be, like, a bit of a heavy one at times, though, with kind of some of the things that it delves into. Like, you know, in some territories, you know, this movie has actually gotten, like, a PG rating and stuff, which, kind of surprised that. Well, over here, it's a 12A, you know, and, like, I think that makes more sense because, like, well, this movie may not be, like, that bad for kids. I don't know if it's really going to be one that, you know, kids are really going to get into. Like, another movie, like, that came out recently, like, Small Things Like These. That was actually also a 12A movie, despite some of the heavy themes that it has in it. But, yeah, this movie is kind of the same, like, you know, there's kind of some heavy themes depicted in the film, with a lot happening and stuff, but like, yeah, like, I think if you'll be interested in a movie like this, right, if you just kind of, you know, take this movie for what it is and stuff, like, it can actually be genuinely a really, you know, engaging and memorable political thriller. But yeah, overall, I have to say, I thought they did a great job with the plot of this movie, you know, making it engaging and, you know, actually having it be intense with some really interesting twists and turns throughout. Yeah, overall, I thought they did well with the plot of this movie. In terms of the film's narrative structure now, that's kind of the main plot is, you know, Cardinal Lawrence is having to kind of oversee the conclave, and, you know, like, throughout the movie he's finding out all these things about these different cardinals and stuff, but, yeah, while that is, you know, kind of the main plot, you know, there's a few kind of subplots in this movie, like, where we're kind of seeing, you know, all these different cardinals and kind of their whole, you know, like, perspective on everything happening and stuff. What I'll say is, it's genuinely really interesting, though, like, what this movie does and stuff, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I actually really liked, you know, how they did it and stuff. Yeah, like, I thought, like, all these different perspectives from all the different cardinals was genuinely really interesting, and, like, yeah, it was all, like, the way everything kind of, fit in together and stuff, and, like, you know, how it all kind of came like into this one plot and stuff. Yeah, honestly, I have to say I thought it was actually really well done, really well executed, and yeah, it's gonna make for genuinely a very like memorable, political thriller. Like all I'll say is the way this movie kind of culminates everything, because like in this movie's climax, there is a twist, and like, yeah, all I'll say is it is actually genuinely like a really, interesting twist. Like, I don't think it's really, gonna be one that like not many will see coming. Oh, I kind of did have like maybe a bit of a slight suspicion about and stuff, but I really did like the twist though, and how it was handled and everything. And like all I'll say is I think the twist is actually going to definitely divide audience members. Like, what's interesting, in my screening of this movie that I went to, when the twist was revealed at the end of the movie, a lot of the audience members just went like, like, oh yeah, it was like a really good twist, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I know with like kind of like a certain kind of demographic of people, I don't think this is gonna work for everyone. Like, I even heard from another like reviewer channel that apparently like there was actually like a lot of people that actually like when the movie was finished playing in the cinema, they went out and they were actually like demanding a refund over the twist. Like, oh my god. But nah, for me, I actually really liked, the twist and how it was done and stuff. Yeah, I thought it was really well handled, honestly. But overall, I think the movie did have a good narrative structure with, how it focused on all these different perspectives, but how it all like culminated together into this one like political thriller. It was honestly really good. But yeah, overall, I have to say I really enjoyed Conclave. Like this is definitely kind of up there for me. Like, it's genuinely a great movie, like with really good cinematography, pacing, music, characters, acting, and like, I thought the plot was really good. It was a very good political thriller with a lot of very good twists and turns throughout it, and a lot of interesting stuff happening. Yeah, overall, I have to say, I really did enjoy this movie, and yeah, all I'll say is I think like if it's a movie that you'll be interested in watching, then I definitely do, highly recommend this one. Like, I mean, especially if you want like a good like political thriller, like with the Vatican and everything. Yeah, overall, like, I really enjoyed this movie. It's one that I highly recommend. Yeah, a great political thriller, alright. So with that, I am going to give Conclave a 9 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.